Republic of Ireland, or AIR.
And our mission is to go way beyond, the usual stereotypes.
Right. No leprechauns, no green beer. We're trying to understand how this relatively small European nation became such a huge cultural and high-tech powerhouse.
As contrast is everything in this deep dive.
Mm.
The sources paint this picture of a peaceful, green, incredibly creative nation.
Mm-hmm.
But the real tension is demographic. We're talking about a country of just 5.3 million people.
Okay, 5.3 million.
But a global family of over 70 million who claim Irish heritage.
Wow. Okay, let's just stop there for a second. 5.3 million versus 70 million.
I know.
That ratio is it's astronomical. It tells you right away that we're studying more than a place. It's a story that's been exported all over the world.
Exactly. And that diaspora, it fuels so much of its modern identity.
So to ground us, let's get the basics down. We're talking about the Republic of Ireland.
A parliamentary republic, right, in Western Europe. Its head of state is President Michael D. Higgins.
And the head of government, the Taoiseach, is Simon Harris.
That's right, since April 2024. And the currency, of course, is the euro. Capital's Dublin.
Got it. Okay, let's start with the symbols that define that identity, because they seem so deeply tied to that history. The flag, for instance.
The tricolor. Green, white, and orange.
We all recognize it. But what does it mean?
Well, it's a really powerful political statement. The green represents the older Gaelic and Catholic tradition.
Right.
The orange represents the Protestant minority, the supporters of William of Orange.
And the white in the middle.
That's the crucial part. It's for peace, a lasting peace between the two traditions. The whole flag is an aspiration for reconciliation.
A flag dedicated to peace. I like that. And then you have the shamrock.
Instantly recognizable. You can't separate it from St. Patrick's Day, March 17th.
Which is a holiday that's probably celebrated more enthusiastically outside of Ireland than in it.
I think you're right. And here's where it gets really interesting, pulling from the sources.
Okay.
St. Patrick himself. He wasn't actually Irish.
Wait, really? The patron saint of Ireland?
Not Irish at all. He was born in Roman Britain.
No way.
Yeah, he was kidnapped, brought to Ireland as a slave, and only came back years later as a missionary. So the foundational figure was, ironically, an outsider.
That story of resilience just seems to define everything. You even see it in the language.
Mm-hmm. Both Irish or Gaelic and English are official languages.
But English is what you hear day to day, right?
Well, mostly, yes. But the effort to maintain the Irish language, especially in what are called the Gaeltacht regions, is a really strong assertion of national identity. It sets Ireland apart.
And that commitment to language, it leads right into their incredible literary heritage. The list is just staggering.
It is. James Joyce, W.B. Yeats, Oscar Wilde, Samuel Beckett.
George Bernard Shaw, Jonathan Swift. I mean, how does a country this size produce so many literary giants?
That's the question, isn't it? It's proof that the culture just places this incredible value on storytelling, on wordplay. It's what people call the gift of the gab.
The gift of the gab. Which brings us to the Blarney Stone.
Of course. The legend says if you kiss the stone, you get the gift of eloquence.
It takes a nation with a real sense of humor to build a major tourist attraction around kissing a rock.
It does.
Yeah.
But that creativity is also tied to a really hard-won history.
Let's get into that. The landmarks and the sources tell a story of conflict.
Definitely. Take Dublin Castle. For centuries, that was the absolute center of British rule in Ireland.
The seat of colonial power.
Exactly. And its dark mirror, in a way, is Kilmainham Jail, the old prison.
That's where the leaders of the 1916 Easter Rising were held.
Held and executed.
Yeah.
Figures like Michael Collins, James Connolly, those executions really galvanized the public and pushed things toward independence. It's a sacred place now.
That's powerful. Okay, so from that struggle, let's pivot to the land itself. The reason it's called the Emerald Isle.
And you can thank the weather for that.
Lots of rain.
Lots of rain. A mild maritime climate. Warm summers, cool winters, and yes, a lot of clouds and moisture. It keeps everything intensely green.
So what's the terrain like?
It's mostly flat lowlands in the middle with these beautiful green fields, but then it gets really dramatic near the coast with mountains.
And the highest point is Caranta Hill.
It is, but I'd say the real geographic star of the show is the River Shannon.
Why is that?
At 360 kilometers, the longest river in all of Ireland and the British Isles. It's like a massive natural artery for the country.
But the real draw for visitors, the thing you see in all the pictures, is that rugged west coast.
Oh, absolutely. The sources are just packed with these iconic wonders. You have to start with the Cliffs of Moher.
Breathtaking. Just sheer rock faces, 214 meters straight up from the Atlantic?
It's an incredible sight. It really feels like the edge of Europe,
And then there's the Burren.
which is a complete geological anomaly, this unique limestone landscape. It almost looks like the moon, but it's full of rare flowers.
And for anyone planning a drive?
You have the classic Ring of Kerry, a 179-kilometer scenic loop, but the really big one now is the Wild Atlantic Way.
The name says it all.
It really does. It's the world's longest defined coastal route, an epic 2,500 kilometers all the way down the west coast. It's a huge tourism driver.
And we have to mention Skellig Michael.
Yes, that remote, rocky island with the ancient monastery.
But now it's famous for something else.
Star Wars. It became Luke Skywalker's hideout, a perfect example of ancient history and modern pop culture just crashing into each other.
And I noticed the sources also mention the Giant's Causeway.
It's worth noting that's actually in Northern Ireland.
Right.
But because of the geology and the legends of Finn McCool, it's almost always studied as part of the wider Irish landscape.
So all these physical sites, they sell this sort of historic ancient vision of Ireland.
They do. But now we have to pivot to the modern economic reality.
Yeah.
Because it's a completely different picture.
Let's do it. Section 3, the modern engine room. Because Ireland today is a high-tech powerhouse.
It really is. This is the whole Celtic Tiger era. It's not just selling scenery anymore.
So what are the key sectors?
The economy is heavily focused on IT, pharmaceuticals, agriculture, and tourism. But look at the exports.
Yeah.
It's not just beef and whiskey anymore.
It's computers.
Computers and medicines are at the top of the list.
Yeah.
They often bring in more than the traditional agricultural exports combined.
So why Ireland? How did this small island attract all these tech and pharma giants?
That's the key question. It goes back to government policy. Ireland set up a very, very competitive corporate tax rate.
The low tax rate.
Right. It was controversial elsewhere, but incredibly effective. It basically made Ireland the English-speaking gateway for huge American companies, Apple, Google, Pfizer, to get into the European Union market.
So you've got a highly educated English-speaking workforce, low corporate taxes, and direct access to the EU.
It's a powerhouse combination, and it completely transformed the country. It's why you see these slick, modern tech campuses right next to ancient castles.
This dual identity again. Okay, let's talk culture. What about food? Everyone knows Guinness.
And the Guinness Storehouse is a massive tourist draw, for sure. But traditional food is, it's hearty, it's from the land.
Like Irish stew.
Irish stew, soda bread, colcannon, which is a great mix of mashed potatoes, and cabbage and boxty, which are these potato pancakes.
And what about sports? They have their own unique sports, right?
They do, and they are fiercely protected. Gaelic football and hurling.
I've heard hurling is incredibly fast.
It's often called the fastest field sport in the world. A wild mix of field hockey and lacrosse. It shows that while they play rugby and soccer, they hold on to their own distinct traditions.
And the creative output didn't stop with Joyce and Eats. The modern list is just as impressive.
Oh, yeah. Musicians like U2, Enya, the Cranberries, Hozier.
And actors, Colin Farrell, Saoirse Ronan, and Cillian Murphy, who is having a huge moment right now.
A massive moment. And we shouldn't forget science. It's not just the arts. Ernest Walton won the Nobel Prize in Physics for splitting the atom. It's an intellectual output that's just totally disproportionate to the population.
So let's quickly touch on the main cities. Dublin is the core, obviously.
Trinity College, with the famous Book of Kells.
Yeah.
And the Temple Bar area, with all the music pubs.
And you mentioned Phoenix Park is huge.
One of the largest city parks in Europe. But you also have vibrant cities like Cork, Limerick, with its huge castle, and Galway.
Galway's the artsy one, right, on the coast.
Exactly. And Waterford, the oldest city, famous for its crystal.
Yeah.
These places are all hubs for festivals, keeping tradition alive.
So to pull it all together, what we've seen is that Ireland is this masterclass in managing contrasts.
Completely. It balances this ancient past, the Celtic identity, the ruins, with a super modern, future-focused tech economy.
And the distinct identity, the language, the sports, it's not fading. It's just adapting.
It proves that the nation's wealth isn't just in its GDP, but in its stories, its science, and its songs.
Which brings us right back to that fascinating figure from the start.
The 70 million.
The 70 million person diaspora. And the sources say the national motto is Er go Brach.
which means Ireland forever.
So, given that huge gap between the 5.3 million inside the Republic and the massive emotionally connected diaspora all over the world, here's a final thought for you to consider.
Okay.
What does it really mean for a nation to be forever, and where does the center of its global cultural influence actually live? Is it driven by the high-tech population within the borders, or is it powered by the constant worldwide emotional connection of those 70 million who claim Ireland as their own?